brother knew a lot of other gang members before they were gang members too, which is kind of crazy. But like he was just always like chilling with everybody, and then one day it was just like, got picked on severely. It was like rolling trash dumpster, like all this crazy stuff, right? And so he was just like, I'm not gonna be that no more. And that's when I saw his shit. I was like, he shifted into a monster. I mean, he'll tell you like my anger was really bad, and right, I would blow up on every little thing. But like when I saw that, it was such a contrast because he was like chill, like fight. He would be like, I have to fight, and then it turned into like, no, now I'm gonna be like the aggressor. And I saw that shift. It was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Crazy that it just seems like it was normal life for you. Like you guys are growing up in the projects, getting in fights. It just seems like, oh, the people around me were joining gangs. It just seemed very normal that was like kind of the next progression. Like I'll tell you, that's not necessarily normal. Like I didn't have that experience, and I'm sure a lot of people watching wouldn't consider that experience normal. For you guys growing up, did that all feel normal, or did it feel like you were in the projects or potentially outcast? Or for you, was this just normal everyday life? Like nothing seemed out of the ordinary?
That's a pretty good question. So, yeah, it was very normal. I don't know what it was. It's probably something in the water. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But it was, I hate to say this, and I hate it because, it was a different time, man. That's all I can tell you. It had a lot to do with racial influence, too. And, some stereotypes, they expect you to have and to embrace. Like, Asian people are doctors, they're mathematicians, right? Bad drivers, though. Right? Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. But, you hardly see the downside of it, You hardly see that. When the other races, they see that, they go, man, you had an opportunity that I didn't have, and you clucked it off. Yeah. Oh, we're going to make you pay for this. Or sometimes there's just like, hey, man, I don't like you. I just don't like you because, for some certain reason, And I feel like that was a lot of what was normalized in our era. Who's the better person? Who's the bigger man or the bigger boy, whatever. But that's how I see it as. And there was a lot of tension between us, a lot. I hate to say it now because those times they bring back a lot of negative,
holy cow! I can't believe I just
I'm
did that.
To what the Lord has put us here today to do. What I'm saying? We're all united, all under one, and that is my personal opinion about how it was normalized from back then.
Yeah, it was normal. It was normal to have racial tension, to be like one side is Asian and the other side is Hispanic, That was a very normal thing. And it was because of the era that he was talking about, So it just happened with all the gang politics, basically. And that's what it was. And then we didn't understand that as kids. We were victims of that. And that was bleeding from families into families. So, like, they would say, like, all these guys, these chinitos, whatever, are this way. And, they're not cool. We're not cool with them. And so the kids were just acting off of the politics, not even recognizing that they were creating this tension. And it's beautiful because what my brother's basically saying is it normalized the language of, like, not even just racism or discrimination, but it was normalized back then to be segregated, normalized to be, like, murderous, rageful, vengeful, broken home. That was a normal thing. And so, when I got to prison, and getting to prison, so we started to see that, oh my gosh, we're literally just two peas in a pod. Like, we all both, whether what race you are, we're all universally interconnected through this, like, negativity and things that are like these generational curses and traumas that are passed down. And we didn't even know. We were fighting each other, but we're literally the same copy, like carbon copy of one another, just different races.
Oh, nice,
so it's really cool, and that's why he says he kind of regrets it in terms of, like, we went at it with people, but it was like we're basically the split ourselves.
Some young kid who also had abusive parents that also grew up in the projects, and it's just kind of told that strategy.
It's the same story, brother. It just has a different cover on it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same book, man. It just has a different cover, and so it's the struggle, man. That's the bar.
And what's crazy to think is, it was back in the day, but I'm sure the exact same thing is still happening today.
Yeah.
And that's mirroring exactly what's going on in the hoods across America right now.
Absolutely.
What I'd be curious to know is, when did you first go to prison? Because he went in at 12, What was your first experience?
So my first time was in juvenile hall. I went to a San Bernardino County juvenile hall. That was my first experience. And
How old were you?
I was 15, and I went to juvenile hall for joyriding. Yes, and it was a joy until I got caught. But I did, yeah. So, you know, me and my boys, we stole a car, you know, and I was greedy. See, this is why you never get greedy, right? So I'm just like, man, I stole this car, but you know what? I want one in black. So I went to go steal a black car. And then I was riding it, and you know, usually the boys will tell you, "Hey, man, it's only good for like 1 or 2 nights. You got that." You know, but me, I had it for a week.
So did not know how to fold them or play them.
I did not. And you know what? It was fun. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, guys. Don't steal cars, please. It's a terrible thing. But yeah, so I remember the day I got caught. I was going to a friend's house, and I was like, I got my hair done ready. I got my dicky suit looking very sleek and clean. Yeah, and I got into the car. As soon as I got into the car, I hear. I look over and they're like, "Get your hands up right now!" And I was like, "I'm sorry." And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what happened? What did I do? He's like, you know what you did? I said, I know. And, you know, they pulled me out the car, you know, and funny thing is he had a police explorer with him that day. He was the same age as me. Yeah.
You know what that is, right? Like the train.
You guys know what the police explorer? The ride-along, right. The ride-along. And he was my age.
He was probably like, wow.
Yeah, and he
Look
was
at this
like,
guy.
He's like, James, we
Yeah.
got history class in an hour.
yeah. I didn't know him, but he was like giving him a dab, like, you're good, officer. And he's like, I know. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so I remember that. I remember that was my first offense. It was crazy. I went to juvenile hall in San Bernardino County, and the first night I couldn't sleep because there was this 11-year-old kid, and he's like, there's cockroaches, you know, and because there's cockroaches in the cell, and I'm just like, dang, man. And I look, and I'm just like, oh, this kid's probably like my age. He comes out, he's like the smallest white kid you can ever, like, he looks like a child, man. And he was 11 years old. And I asked him, what did you do to him? I my brother in the eyeball. And I was like, at 11 years old? With the number 2 pencil. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of the first times that I remember going to the juvenile detention center in San Bernardino.
How long did you go to juvenile hall for?
So it was about like 2 months. After that, they released me and they asked me, hey, are you going to do this again? I said, no, I lied. You know, they gave me probation for a year, and then just like my brother, like Johnny, it was a downward spiral, man. Couldn't stop, man. It's like an adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? You know
What I want to know is, so he's gone, like locked away at 12. So now you're out. Like, what's going on when he's not home? What are you doing? You're just going deeper in the gang. Like,
yeah.
are you
So
talking to him at all?
no.
No, we didn't really talk. We didn't have a good relationship, honestly, if we're being real. We were very estranged. Even though we're from the same hood, I didn't like him and he didn't like me.
Yeah, we did our own thing.
You were part of the same gang. You do your own thing.
Yeah, it was more of not like a gang thing. It was more like a brotherly, like sibling rival kind of feud. You know what I'm saying? Because my brother, we resented each other a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it was more about not the street politics, but it was like family politics. Like who's trying to be the better son or who's better than what. You know, it just came down to like the nitty gritty.
I was very jealous of him because I always was like, he's a good kid, you know, like, but not super good. Like, he's fighting and stuff. Obviously, he was doing the gang stuff, but I was just always had that resentment, and it wasn't towards my brother. I realized it was towards my dad. So I was like, dude, he like cares about him. My mom seemed to like care about him, being the firstborn, you know. And even though that, like, I didn't realize that, obviously above the superficial surface level, like he was getting his trauma too. But I just saw it as like, hey man, you guys like him. How come I always have to be wrong? You know, like I remember one time me and my brother went to a fight in front of my dad, and my brother like punched me, and then I spat on him, and then my dad like full fist like punched me in the face. He's like, you never spit on your older brother, blah. And I was like, he just punched me in the face. So like, it wasn't even my brother's fault. It was like, Dad, why you let this happen, you know? And I just like hated him because of that. And every single sentence my brother would tell you would always end with, you're stupid, idiot. Like I would say, you're dumb, you know, to my brother. I would look down on him and laugh in that way. And so he was just, but he was always trying to be cool. Like no matter when things had to happen, like he had to slide for me and he had to do these things, my brother would do it even though we had that type of stuff, that type of feud, you know. He was always backing me up no matter what. But I think it just shows, it goes to show like he always had that brotherly love, but I was always just like very like conniving, very cunning, and very like spiteful.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand the timeline of like when these fights and when this is all happening, because you're in at 12 and in and out for a long time. You're in and out for a long time. So like a lot of the time where brothers grow up together, you guys were apart and then together, fighting and then together. So I'm curious, like what parts of each other's lives did you guys probably miss out on? And maybe would things have been different if you didn't spend so much time apart?
So, yeah, most of our teams, man, I would tell you, those are, you know, one thing about growing up with a sibling is you want to grow up with a sibling. And you don't want to miss any type of time, but I think the most crucial times are the
Yeah, that was times where we didn't see each other. It was mainly like when we were younger, we would fight a lot up until the game.
I'm super curious because when you were in YA, you said your mom never visited.
Oh.
Nobody visited. So what's happening behind the scenes? What are your parents saying about Johnny? Like,
well, because my brother was locked up during that time. You know, they're very angry, and also it was a mixed emotion. Very sad too, and very lost. Mind you, my parents are immigrants. They don't know what's going on. Back in their country, none of this they can never imagine that this would transpire. So they're kind of in the feud, they're in the war. They're like, man, what's going on? Like, they're blaming themselves, they're also blaming the children or the life. You know, my father to this day still says that, you know, I shouldn't have came to America. You know what I'm saying? Like look at my boys. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, no, Dad, like, it's a good thing because without you coming here, there would be this, you know? Like, but he's like, man, it's just the self-eating guilt. You know what I'm saying? So, so same thing. To answer your question, it was the self-eating guilt plus the depression, the anguish of their son going to prison. You know, both of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of it has to do with, I think, self-guilt, man. You know?
what was their reaction to you going to prison? Because you're the oldest, you were the poster child.
I was the favorite child, and you know, it just, like I said, I did everything to fit in, but the most thing that I hate was bullies, right? So I wanted to do what I wanted to do is to get back at the people that stepped out. You know what I'm saying? That was my main reason. It wasn't for any other reason. It was mainly just because of that. Like, you know what? These guys gave me problems all my life, you know, in school and after school programs, whatever it is, you know. And that was it. That was the main reason.
When did you guys come out to where you guys were overlapped before you went back again? Or who went back?
Yeah, so I came out and I was only out for like 60 something days. And then he went in, like we pretty much almost went in at the same time. So he ended up going in, 17 years old?
Yeah, 17, yeah.
Something like that.
I was still
16.
minor. Yeah, we're minors, basically.
Yeah. So we overlapped in that. But in the penal system, I never ran into my brother. You know, and the way it is like basically like he went in for, both of us went in for things basically. Yeah, so he did that, we did that, and then it was just kind of like, you know, we didn't really spend, like he had mentioned earlier, we didn't spend any time in our teenage years. We were like literally not seeing each other. It was crazy.
I mean, and the answer is pretty obvious, but I mean, like, do you guys regret kind of missing that time together?
I do, 100%.
I would tell you wholeheartedly, yes, I do. You know, I have a lot of guilt, you know, a lot of trauma with my brothers because I'm supposed to be the example. You know, I'm supposed to be the older brother. And what do older brothers do? You know, they protect their younger brothers. You know, I feel like I was my brother's keeper. I still do to this day. You know, but when you're leading your brother into a path like that, you know, you have something that eats you up inside. You know? So I definitely regret not growing up with him. I mean, if we could take some of those years back, you know, that would be great.
Yeah, that's one thing my brother always told me was like, I'm kind of like sad that I wasn't there to like protect you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as an older brother. And that's kind of what helped us rekindle that relationship. But like, he was always a protector, and then, but couldn't protect me, even in the prison system, or even, you know, because he was going through all of his stuff too.
Did you ever feel like you were let down by your older brother at the time?
You know, I think it wasn't personal, but I felt like the world let me down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was a catch-all. Like, I was very severely depressed, and I didn't know that. I was coping with anger and frustration. I didn't know that. Me and my brother fought every day. Like, we would catch multiple fades every day.
With each other?
With each other. Like,
Yeah.
when we were younger, like, we from the age of 5 all the way up, me and my brother would fight all the time.
Just think of it, man. I remember this one time. This is before any of this happened. I remember I fought my brother over fruit roll-ups. I told him specifically, hey, the last fruit roll-up is mine. Okay? You ate the second and last, so the last one is mine. He's like, okay. And then he stole the fruit roll-up, left a chair in front of the fridge, okay? And he tried to deny it. No, it wasn't me. Who would use the chair to boost themselves up to the fridge so they could grab the candy?
Dad.
Didn't even clean the evidence.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, are you sure you didn't? He's like, yeah.
Just imagine like a Tom and Jerry fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
With the cloud.
Yeah,
The dirt
yeah,
cloud.
yeah.
Right. So, yeah, we fought. No, true to that. Real facts, man. We fought every day. I remember one time he just had come over, okay, from juvenile hall, and then I was like, "Did you steal my jersey?" And he's like, "No." Right? So I go in his closet and I'm like, and I see my black and white jersey. You know? I'm like, hey, and he's like, hey, and my brother's very proud of me. I told you that I didn't steal nothing. Oh, is that right? Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you were a expletive word head. You were a dookie head.
We both cracked. Like, the way with my brother was, he was actually like a whole head bigger than me, but I would still fight my brother, right? So one time my brother split my head open, but I actually split his head open first, actually, and then he, like, there's scars to prove it, but and then he's like, all right, I'll get you back, and he split my head open.
Hey, side note, guys, it's the exact same location where the sword is.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
both the back of our heads.
Yeah.
That's why you guys now both talk a little slow.
Yeah, I know, guys.
Hey, man. Hey.
Get him.
So, you know, Johnny, one of his stories is like in prison, just all the experiences he went through that kind of made him face himself. And I'd be curious, what was the longest stint that you were in for? And then, like, what are the thoughts, like, going through your head? And, yeah, I want to just kind of know what was happening mentally inside prison.
You're just crazy.
So I caught my bid, and I'm gonna say this off the record. California Department of Corrections, you got the wrong man. I am innocent.
That's so true.
I am innocent. I just decided not to tell. You know, I don't want to get into details, but I will say that, yeah, it was kind of like a learning experience. You know, it's a real eye opener, and was it worth it? Some days I'll tell you, I'll be like, man, it's not. But then some days I'll be like, man, I'm glad that I went because this is what I learned. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you could take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, it depends on you. The end user is going to judge. But for me, I think God wanted us to see something. You know, God wanted us to see something, and proven today, like this is God's work, man. You know, have we never been in prison? We would never have any of this. You know?
He's in there, and at a certain point, he's trying to be like good, right? He's going anger management and trying to even be Muslim. What was your experience like? Like, you get in, and obviously you got a program.
Yeah.
And then at that point, what's happening in your head?
It's kind of the same. Like, everyone has this thing called, I forgot what it's called. Excuse me, I'm having a brain fart right now. But every prisoner experience, so they get it's called S time, okay? So it's the time, like, of 6 months to the house, you know, and that's the most stressful time. They call it S time, right? But we call it stress time. Because you don't know what you're about to do before you get out. You know, that was one of my most stressful moments. And before that, just survival, man. You know, just surviving, man. Just keeping my head down. You know, not starting any problems. And the problems came to us, but one thing that I regret that I didn't do is go to church anymore, man. You know, because I don't know if you guys know, but you know, Christians in jail, they're not really. I don't want to like knock down on people, but they're looked down upon. You know, it's because a lot of them they do the hide behind the Bible thing. You know, like, oh, I'm a Christian, now I don't have to put in work, or I don't have to program, or I don't live by any rules. No, it's gonna happen. You know, and I just remember feeling like the spirit. You know, I'm just like, man, I have to go. But dang, I don't want to go because you know what? I don't want the homeless. I don't want them to look down. You know, I don't want them to look down on the watching. You know what I mean? Because I was the prime representative for them, and I was just like, man, that's the thing I regret, man. Like everything else was cool. Like you had to fight with them for us, seeing acts of violence being committed. That's one of my main things. Was not going to the Lord and participating in church events in there. Yeah.
Was it on the days that you were on, Gemma? Like, I never asked him this. Did they trip if you were Muslim? Like, didn't they only trip? The ones that I was on, they only trip when you're a Christian.
Yeah, bro. And I will tell you, bro. In life, right? Nothing is harder than being a Christian, man. You know what I mean? To accept the Lord. You know, I'll tell you why. Because all the Muslims, they weren't persecuted as much, man. You know, they get to do whatever, not whatever, but they had more of a leeway. You know, and people respected them more. People respected the Muslim in there as the real religion because they're doing their prayers, right? But for Christians, it's like, man, it tells you about the disciples, man, how they were suffering and how they were. That's the thing about it. That's the hardest thing you can do because when you say that you're a Christian in there, automatically, to them, it's kind of a red flag. You know, to most of the, I'm not saying everyone, but most of the population, it's a choir boy. You know what I mean?
Weren't you saying in prison that's when you kind of got some size on you?
Yeah.
What about you? 'Cause you're young.
Hey, man.
Were you skinny when you were growing up, or were you
Bro,
always big? Like,
you guys think I'm big, but I'll tell you right now, I'm only 120 pounds soaking wet.
hey, for the audio listeners, if you look at his arms, they're the size of Johnny's like neck.
No,
like his head.
He's lying.
My brother went to prison, 110 pounds.
110 pounds.
What?
My brother's 110 pounds. He went to prison.
How tall were you at the time?
I weighed more than him.
I was 5'5", 110 pounds, 17 years old.
That's insane. That's insane. So all this time in the story too, you're fighting in the projects though, and you're tiny.
Yeah, I'm tiny. I tell you right now, I lost a lot. I ate a lot of punches, man, and they did not taste. It was not tasteful.
Wait, so then in prison, like what? Like you just started like eating 5 times a day, just like, working out. Like when did you pack on the size?
Yeah, so very good question. I remember this guy named Wolf, man. Hey,
It's a
shout out,
badass name.
man. Shout out to Wolf, man. Hey, he was a great guy, man. Honestly, and he was just big. Salsa was big, man. But you know, he had love for me. I don't know why. Maybe he saw like he probably I probably reminded him of himself, I guess. I don't know. But he was like. I remember they used to talk smack to me, you know, like, man, chopsticks, they call me chopsticks. Not only is it racist, but it was offensive because I was very skinny, you know, and I remember I would get lined up to do the pull-ups. You know, there's a line you have to wait at the weight pile, you line for pull-ups, line for everything. It's over. So I remember they would call me, man, you ain't never gonna get big, man. Man, you need chopsticks, man. But that guy Wolf was like, hey bro, don't listen to anything else. I'll tell you right now, I was just like you when I first came. I did 15 years ago, and he's monster, like, big, you know? So there was some really cool cats and individuals in there that actually, you know, motivated me to get into, you know, working out, you know, staying healthy, and you know, being about physical fitness.
Wait, so Wolf had a full prison workout plan.
Man,
Okay, what was it?
hey, the water bags, man. Johnny, do you want to tell them about the water bags?
Yeah, basically they fill. So there's some places that you don't have weights. I don't know if his prison and mine's it was Bowflex. Remember Bowflex? Did they have that fiddle? Yeah.
So they had that in Arizona.
So they have Bowflex weights because you give prisoners weights to keep each other, right? So before, I think way before, the years before we got in, they would have actual free weights. But then Bowflex, and then people started to rip those things apart, right? And do crazy, use cords or whatever. So then you'd have to improvise. Water bags, like, you know, basically you squat your cellmate, like crazy stuff to just get weight, basically.
Wait, so I don't understand how you guys are putting on so much weight. Like, you can just eat as much as... In my mind, prison is like you get like 3 bites of food a day and that's it. Like, what? How does that work?
Yeah, what's the diet plan? What's the prison diet plan?
Yeah.
The prison diet plan, a lot of top ramen, and a lot of beans and soy sauce. Spreads, man. Spreads. So spreads are, it's kind of a unique concoction, man. If you think of it, you got refried beans, you got your chicharroni pork rinds, you got your top ramens, beef and shrimp, and even lime chili shrimp if you're at certain, you know, country systems, you know?
Lime chili shrimp.
Right, and so we just do, it's pretty much a jambalaya, man, you know?
Like a protein-packed, carb-packed jambalaya, but just a workout paste.
And what, some people made better spreads than others. You got the Michelin star cell over here.
You're talking to the top chef right here, man. The Asians had the best spreads, bro.
On everything. No disrespect to the salsa, no disrespect to the homies. Pero, we have the best spread.
Why?
Amen.
What was different? You would put
We
sriracha
just-
in
there
yours?
was- No, it's not. It's just the way we mixed it up.
Oh, you knew the ratios.
It's just the way we would make spring rolls out of it. Like there would be the spring rolls.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like it would, and we would trade. That's the prison pipe. Like it's an ecosystem. You would trade. You know, like my brother was really good at like drawing. So like some people would come and like give him stamps or whatever, and then he'd trade for like a birthday card.
Yeah.
It was a whole like currency in there.
You know what's kind of interesting? It's like when you watch like social media or YouTube and you see like fitness people with their meal prep, they're making spread day. They just make the random stuff. 2 cans of tuna, and then you throw Frank's Red Hot. And I'm just like, that was disgusting. But it's just like, you know,
taste it.
yeah, they're like cottage cheese. It's just like a mush.
You know
Just
what
like
they say? They say beggars can't be choosers, man. You can eat that spread, man, or you can starve.
Facts.
You know?
Spread was the best thing you could get in prison.
But there's also like depending on which yards, there's certain times where you can get stuff too.
Yeah.
Like you could get, you know, KFC. You know what I mean? Like
Food
Really?
sales.
What do you mean certain times?
KFC,
Like,
they got cheeseburger Eddie in there.
Yeah. Hey, so yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the fries that'll cross your eyes.
No, I'm telling you right now. Like, thank God for Veterans Day because you know, hey, thank you to all the service members that served. You know, thank you. But veteran food sales, man, those are awesome. I mean, they really just go food sales for anything, okay? But yeah, you would get, as like Johnny said, fried chicken, KFC. You know, you got the superstar famous bowls. You know, now you know why I'm so hooked on regular franchise food, man. But you got your Domino's
because
pizza.
that was luxury back then.
Yeah.
Wait,
and-
so- I don't get a veteran sale like they're pulling up with KFC though. I don't understand.
It could switch. It could be in between. So it could either be Domino's pizza or KFC. Where I was at.
And what, the money supports veterans, or I don't understand.
Well, the veterans bring it in.
That's
They're
what they say.
volunteering.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. It's the institution, man. Okay, they're just But they throw a food sale like maybe like once a year, you know, maybe twice a year. I forgot the time frame for that. But yeah. So back to the spreads, man. Spreads is your bread and butter. There are some people, John. You know this too. There are some homies that don't even walk to chow.
Yeah, they
don't-
only eat off of their commissary. It's true.
That means you're rich.
Yeah, I was about to say, that means you got the shmoney.
Yeah. It's true.
Can you get like candy? Like M&M's? Or...
I think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah. They have
It's a limited supply.
Yeah,
Like-
no. With the commissary, it's like a cheap liquor store, man. It's like a gas station. store, basically.
What's the reason? Like, obviously they're trying to make it so you're not having a good time in prison, but like, what's the reason of like holding back food, especially if you're gonna pay for it, right? Like, why don't they just give you access to it?
I mean, you can.
You give them Cliff Bars, like they hit their. What's the difference? You can have Cliff Bars.
It's just all punishment, and they're trying to keep costs low. And there's also that prison to corporate pipeline too, where it's like you have others. Same there. My brother was locked up. I was locked up. Before it wasn't like toothpaste was just regular unbranded toothpaste. start seeing Colgate, you start seeing Crest, and you're like, hey, like we're thinking, wow, this is great. We're not because the other toothpaste that was like nasty, that's actually like flavored sometimes, whatever. And so you start to see these little things entering the prison, and you're like, huh. And so obviously as you get out, you start to recognize these little things that it's sadly, like with anything, when there's a group of people and there's money involved, it turns kind of like business.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like the Colgate prison contract is probably like hundreds of millions of dollars that they're gonna survive or supply all the toothpaste for every prison.
Oh man, it's not only Colgate, but there's a lot of investors, and they're all famous.
Yeah,
a lot.
What would you say were the lessons that you walked away from in prison?
Don't be a people pleaser, man. Straight up. You know, I have a lot of experience in there where, you know, I wanted to fit in, you know, but when I saw something wrong, you know, I didn't call it because I was afraid to be judged. I was afraid to be that individual. I want to share this one particular story where there was this guy. I don't know who this individual was. I just know about him. I remember when there was an incident, you know, with the specific race, and this guy was going, you know, and I remember like we were under the tables, and he was on the table, and he was like grabbing, like, saying, "Bro, help me," and sorry guys. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, man. Like, you know, don't be a people pleaser, man. I understand that, you know, hey, politics is politics, you know what I'm saying? But some things when you experience in there, man, it's you can't take home with you, you know? So what I took out of that was, you know, don't be a people pleaser, you know, do what's right, man. Do the right thing. I mean, if you can't do it physically or even emotionally or however way, do the right thing.
Yeah. You know, what's crazy is a lot of people have those types of experiences. A lot of them homeless too, where you have to turn a blind eye. Or my brother's like leaving out details there. There are times where you have to take care of even your own people. You know, they call it cleaning house. So I could be sitting here talking to my brother all cool, and the next minute I'd be having this. So what my brother's talking about is actually, it happens. I have a story like that too, and I've shared it, but it's similar, where you have to turn a blind eye because they're not part of your race. Because they're getting, and you're like, I can't get in there because if I get in, then everybody else has to get into it. So you live with what he's saying a lot of survivors do. And I felt the same. I've had stories like that. He says any prisoner, if they've been on the GP, which is general population mainline, they all have this type of trauma. We speak for them too, honestly. Like my brother's bold enough to say that, but a lot of people won't say it. So I hope that they can understand. We understand. But people who don't go to prison, especially the California system, they don't understand stuff like this. They're just like, why would I just help them? They don't understand that there's so many layers to these things. And we just have to like sit there as people pleasers, as I don't want to look weak. You allow the most heinous things because you don't want to look weak.
It could also cost you your life.
And it could. That would very much so would cost us lives. Yeah, and if my brother was to help at that time, it's over for my brother. You know, so it was just, it's sad to be at that crossroads of like, do I survive or do I not survive? Do I let somebody die in order for me to survive? These types of things just tear you up in this way to every single day.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you get out? So what's the timeline of when you got out and you got out? Who got out first? And is that the first time you guys meet again? And what's that relationship like?
I got out first. My brother gets out shortly after that. And yeah, we meet. And we were still not, we were closer, but we were still kind of beef. It wasn't like a big beef, but we were still kind of like this. We weren't like this, where we could talk. It was very simple. My brother would tell you, like, I wasn't always talking. My brother also was not very talkative. Actually, he was more talkative as a young kid, and then he reclused up. And I was kind of like the opposite. Like, I talked a little, and then I also reclused up too, you know. But we met, and I would just, you could tell him the story. I'm embarrassed, but there's a story that my brother told me yesterday, and it reminded me of when he got out. I basically took him, and like he wanted to work out, and I like playing basketball at that time. I'll let my brother finish.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm like going down right now, dude. I'm still thinking about that situation. What was it again? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm curious. What are you thinking about?
Just
Like what thoughts are running through your head? I'm saying.
just that, man. A lot, man. A lot of like regret. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back to what was the question again?
Yeah. So when we got out, the story. I took you to play basketball.
Oh yeah. So this guy, all right, going back to WWF original guys. Yes, remember that story? Very fun. Yeah, my brother just couldn't take it out. I remember he's like, hey, let's go play basketball at a local youth center that we grew up at. And I said, hell yeah, let's go, you know? And you know, basketball was like one of our favorite sports to do, man. You know, we would ball it up all the time. But I get out, okay, I'm freshly out parole. It was like the first week I'm out parole. My brother's like still on the tip, right? And we start playing this basketball game, you know, and this guy's playing like really hard defense, and he kind of like pushes or shows my brother or hits him. I don't remember.
He elbowed me.
He elbowed you. Okay, so
Allegedly.
no, he elbowed him, and he was basically throwing elbows. And my brother said, "Hey, what the hell, man? Why you keep throwing your elbow, man? Why you keep shoving me, man? We gotta get down right now." And then me, I'm still like freshly out. I'm like, "Dang, I'm on parole. I just did 14 or 13 and some change, and now I'm going back in."
So
Yeah.
it's just
No, and then I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, Johnny, you know, I'm gonna kind of rank it right now. I'm not gonna lie, okay? But
No, what happened is the other guy turned it down.
yeah,
The guy said, "Bro, it's just basketball." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'll you know, like, if it's just basketball, then keep it like that." And then he was like, "All right." And then my brother was just like I saw his face. He's like, "Yeah." Because the thing is, if I fought, my brother would have to jump in. But the thing is, also, he would have let me have. I told my brother, like, let me just handle him one-on-one, and he would have. But then, even if the cops were called, what my brother's leaving out is we're both validated gang members. And he's on parole, and I'm on parole. We can't even be in the same vicinity. So we're already breaking the law right there. We go and we play basketball. If I fight, if he's anywhere in that area, he'll get violated. And that's why I think I was really stupid, was that I never really cared. Like, that was the type of person I was. I didn't think. I would just like, my brother was like, "Dude, I just got out." But he didn't say that. He didn't really say that. He was just like, "All right, you know." But
Yeah, let's
now
go.
I know deep down he was like, "Damn, I don't want to go back to prison, but that's my little brother. I have to." That's a dichotomy of the thing. It's like we don't want to, you know, but we have to.
it's I love that Godfather thing where they say strictly built. Man, Al Pacino wasn't even made yet.
No, I'm good, babe, right now.
Strictly built. And that's what we write off of, you know. It is, you know, strictly business, because I understand that not even I myself, but most of our homies too are like, "Man, I don't want to do it, but you know what? It's strictly business. I take care of it." Yeah.
So now you're freshly out of prison. What was your first impression of your mom becoming Christian?
Man, like I would say, you know, Asians are very prone to like Buddhism, stuff like that. So it was a very like big shock to me. I see the change. She was like way more happier, man. You right? Am I right? So like I was like, man, why are you so happy, man? It's crazy. Like, you know, shout out to Pastor Kim, man. You know, and Moksu, like, thank you guys for real for, you know, saving my family, man. And I understand that, you know, when I first saw my mother, you know, I remember her as the woman that would like nag me, you know, or try to, you know, tell me to stop doing something that I wanted to do, you know, or controlling, or whatever the case was. I saw my mother, right? But when I saw her, she was just like 100% transformed.
So then at the time, though, when did you have your first experience with Pastor Kim, and did you talk to him about it? Like when?
No.
So what, you guys were just hanging around,
Yeah,
You're going through that change.
Yeah, I never brought it up because Pastor Kim was like, you don't have to tell people. You can just show people. So that's one thing my brother too, he can never share this, but at first, what were your thoughts on Christianity, like with me and just all the changes?
I was like, yeah, I mean, it sounds good. But is it good? Yeah, you know what? And I'm gonna share a funny story real quick. You know, Pastor Kim, you know, Johnny was gonna be a preacher. Ain't no way. Ain't no rat's chance, man. No way. And you know, when he started doing the podcast and stuff, like, hey, bro, I'm doing it. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, it's, you know, it's because I was prone like that, and I apologize to you for that, bro. I didn't believe in it, you know. But I seen that, and I was just like, man, he just blew up, dude. He's blowing up, and I'm just like, he's gonna buy me a house. I'm just kidding, guys. No, it's not like that. I was just very happy for him because, you know, that was our niche. You know? Like we needed something. Like everyone needs something, man. You know, and that's my brother's calling, man. And boy, it's the calling. It's from God, man. It's Jesus Christ, man. Amen to that. You know.
So what are you thinking? Like Johnny literally moves into a church.
Yeah.
What are you thinking at that point? What's happening to my brother?
I was kind of, like I said, skeptical. You know what I mean? That's the term for it. I was like,
I would be too. This man with his history.
I mean, look at this guy, man.
Yeah.
Tatted down, you know, to the bone.
Yeah, just stealing,
You know?
stealing at 5 years old,
Yeah.
4 years old.
Yeah, and you know, going up to people and say, hey, man, I'm making Jesus Christ cool again. Get out of town, you know? But no, I see it and it's working, man. Like I seen it personally, like first person view. I saw it. He was like, you know, changing lives, man. You know, through Christ.
Do you have like a story or a moment where you went from skeptical to, okay, maybe this is real for Johnny?
Oh man, I remember one little homie in particular. You know, he's a great guy, man. He's awesome, and I mess with your brother's content, man. I mess with the church. I'm like, what? Mind you, he was just like a mini me of him. You know, active, strong, courageous, brave, whatever, you know. And he's putting it down, and you know, and the thing is, he's a shot caller, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's not like just a regular guy. He earned his ranks. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, hey, I mess with your brother. And it's like, wow. How? He's like, yeah, you know, I wanted to lead the homies the right way. And I was like, man, I couldn't even do that, man.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm
We
just
were
like,
misleading the youngsters,
right,
honestly.
right. And you know what? For us, and that's a beautiful thing, man. I see it. Like, that's why I believe in John. You know, I'm like, dude, like I said, that from that moment on, the whole skepticism of my brother and the frame I had him in was gone, man. You know?
Wow.
When did you start preaching to him?
Never preached to my brother. I never pushed it to the homies. I'm serious. You can ask my brother. I never talked to him about God. I just stopped caring and I stopped doing all that stuff. My brother's leaving out some stories, but people would just be like, yo, what's up with Johnny, you know? And my brother didn't want to hear it. He's like, nah, he's just doing this fake thing. Like, my brother doesn't go into detail. But essentially, like, he seen me years ago changing, but he was still skeptical. And then what he's saying is when the youngsters started to respect me, when his friends started to accept me, and they were like, damn, he's way more peaceful. And people started to love me. Like, in my hood, a lot of the older homies, they love me, you know? So, like, the youngsters respect me when you're not supposed to be respected. You know, if the person that I am, most people will be like, oh, that guy's a weirdo. And it was like, I was leaving that out, but in the beginning, it was like, that's kind of weird. Because being Buddhist, most of our hood is predominantly Asian, obviously, but we're also brothers. Me and my brother are brothers. Like, our older homies they have brothers. Most of our whole set, bro.
Yeah, we're the band of brothers.
Exactly, literally. And that's how we go so hard in the streets, because when you're hurting someone, you're not just hurting you're hurting our actual blood. So like, and then in the same way, they also can be clicked and be like, what is this guy doing? But now, my brother can confirm this, the homies too, you've seen them at the lives, like, they love everything that we're doing, and it's because I changed.
Yeah, and I was going to say that's a great note to all the viewers because I constantly see people asking, how do I preach the gospel to someone who doesn't want to hear it? And your answer constantly is leading by example.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example of how you just led by example. You never really had to preach the gospel to your brother, but he saw the change in your life and made his way over
Why
himself.
don't you share that, Jim? When you went, the first time you went and you spoke to, you know, Ungung's dad, Pastor Kim.
Yeah, so the first time I went to church, like I said, I was very skeptical. You know, I'm a see it and believe it guy. Okay, not the hear and believe it guy. You know,
Totally.
funny. But I went to church with a very skeptical mindset, and I saw a bunch of stuff. Like it was just a whole new world to me. You know, and the prior negativity I got from going to church and stuff or hearing about going to church and it's negative, it's boring. It actually is not, man. If you have to go with an open heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, Pastor opened up with me, with his family, everyone was there. We just opened up. It was really eye-opening, man. It was eye-opening. And I started to believe, like, man, there is some hope left, there is something. And the thing with Ungung's dad, I forgot about that story, bro.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. What? Can you refresh me on what happened?
Yeah. So you went to I remember you like seen me and you were like, this who's changed.
Oh, right.
Like, why do I like? What the hell is going on? Kind of similar to what Dad did. And then you get there, and I think I forgot what it was. Mom like told you to come or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they came to you. I don't remember.
I think she told me to.
Yeah. So you went there and then they preached the gospel to you.
Right.
And I remember him telling me vividly, like, dude, it's true. If Jesus died for all my sins,
I'm
why the
righteous,
hell am
I'm
I still
holy.
saying I'm a sinner? Like, that was his main thing.
Yeah.
And I was like in tears. Like I was like swallowing my tears.
Yeah.
What year in your Christian walk was that when you first went?
I think that was like 2.5, 3 years into my walk. So it took him a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember he asked me too right after that. He was like, so you still a sinner? I said, no.
Ah,
And he said, what are you? I said,
I think 8.
Amen.
I think so. Total, we have
So,
like 8.
Everybody, the story of coming to Christ and accepting that is always like a heartwarming one, but it's
Bueno,
like
que
this.
se lleve la que pueda.
So what were your struggles in accepting that you were righteous, but then obviously still coming from being in the lifestyle that you were in? What were your struggles?
so first and foremost, right? I'm not trying to quote scripture here, but it says, that all men are failures, and you can't trust men. They're liars, cheaters, whatever, right? As okay, mankind, and that's the first acceptance. Like, you have to know you can't do it on your own. You know what I'm saying? You can't go through the rings of fire without Jesus, man. That's the truth, Because when you try to do your own stuff, like I even though I accepted Christ, I still have my own thinking. I'm still gonna try and do this. I'm still trying to do that, and I fail every time. 10 out of 10 times. But when I left God, and he showed me mercy. I left it to God, and he was like, you know what? Here it is, and it happens. It works. And I'm just like, man, this is like an antidote. Jesus Christ is an antidote. And there's a lot of checking yourself, evaluating yourself, right? And saying, man, you're just a human being, man. You're a man. You're a failure. You're a liar, cheater, whatever it is. You can't do it without that. And that's what people have to accept. Because a lot of people will be like, hey, I could control my life, this and that. But can you really? If you can control your life, then why does bad things still happen to you?
Yeah. It's literally the core of teaching. So you can't do it, and that's the deception. Thinking that you can, and then failing, and then doing well, failing. It's constant up and down. You just get tired of it. And you're just like, damn, I really can't do it.
What is your reaction to Johnny's like social media world?
I thought he photoshopped it the first time, bro. He's like, look at my followers, bro. I was like, that's cap, bro. That's photoshopped. And he's like, no, look. And I go, I'm gonna investigate this. So I look at it, I was like, dang. Wow. That's amazing. What the hell?
I'm shocked.
Yeah, no, I was very shocked. I was like, man, my baby brother, man, my little brother, man, doing the Lord's work, man. And that's why I say God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. You know what I mean? It's through the blessings of Jesus Christ and the Father, you know? And it's crazy. I'm just mind blown, dude. I'm mind blown about all these events that are, you know, transpiring. And it's not any of our doings, man. It's you know, it's Jesus Christ, man, you know?
I'm curious how Johnny's growth on social media has impacted your life at all.
They call me Mr. Los Angeles Fitness for some reason. It's very awkward. I don't know.
What is that nickname?
Because my brother, one time we were on live, and I was like, James, where are you at? He's like, I'm at the Los Angeles Fitness. And I was like,
Oh.
and I'm like, LA Fitness, you mean? No one says Los Angeles Fitness. And he's like, he's like, what the heck does LA stand for, Johnny? Like, he was like convincing me. I was like, man, it does say Los Angeles Fitness. And I was like, that's like saying Los Angeles International Airport. People just call it LAX. Oh, but
They do?
like,
Enemy contact in
I
my
don't
AO.
know, what does LA stand for? I mean, he ain't wrong. But that's like hilarious. Right? But he's serious. He's serious. That's what's crazy.
That's funny.
That's funny because there's LA Fitnesses like all around the country, but
Yeah.
for you guys it was just Los Angeles Fitness.
Just for me, though. For me.
He's the only one that calls it that. It's a
That's so
rebrand.
funny. So anything else? Has anything else changed in your life, or maybe the homies or the people you're around? Like has Johnny's growth on social media impacted your life at all?
Man, a lot actually, yeah. I get mistaken by him a lot, bro. I've been mistaken a lot. by
Pastor,
him.
Pastor, you're like,
No, they don't even say it. They go, "Hey, you're that YouTube guy," and I was like, "What? No way." And
you're like,
then-
I'm just Asian, you racist.
No, I wouldn't say that. I love it, man. I love it. I love that because you know, it just reassures me that you know, God is doing His work, man. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this would happen without Jesus Christ. And the funny thing is, the most recent story, there was a police officer that came up to me.
You told me this stuff.
And I was like, uh-oh, right? So I was at Target, and I was with my wife and with my wife actually. And, he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you look familiar." And back then, he was geared up too. He was like, on the beat cop, bro.
You thought you were about to go back?
Man, dude. I'll tell you right now, when he came up to me and I looked at him, my back instantly got sweaty, dude. And I was like, man. And he's like, hey, you. And I was like, and my wife turned around and she's like, and I was like, are you Johnny Chan? And I go, oh, thank God. I said, no, officer. He's like, oh, okay. I just want to say that, hey man, I watch you guys' content. I was like, I'm his brother. He's like, I watch your content, and you know I'm a Christian too. So I said, man, look at God, man.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's mind-boggling, bro. Just to think about it, just like, man, I didn't have respect for law enforcement, or now I do, but it was just they were the ops. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in our neighborhood, man, they're vicious. They're vicious. Like, law enforcement, they're on you, trust me. You know. But when he came up to me in that kind of gesture, I was like shocked, man. And so that's one of the occasions that affected my life, dude, because of his rights too.
You're welcome.
Well, that wasn't. I'm not saying that was great.
So, you know, in our neighborhood, no gangs got along, right? San Gabriel Valley is very famous for this back then, at least in our era. But it's beautiful because my brother always shares with me off camera how many of our ops, they say, which are no longer enemies, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to them, but how they go and they come up to my brother with respect and be
Yeah.
like, yo, I seen your little brother. Or they'll even say, I seen
Yeah.
you know, and be like, yo, we rock with it. These are enemies. These are people where there's years of bloodshed. There's, you know, and it's like to hear that and then bridge that is crazy, right?
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, you know. And yeah, that's actually very surprising as well.
You know, Johnny obviously has been given by a gift of God of being able to help people, and it was a long journey for him to get to this point. I'm curious, like, how your family uses Johnny. right? You kind of got like a Bible therapist on call. How do you use Johnny in your personal life? Does he help you?
I said, hey man, buy me a car right now. Right now. Buy me Applebee's, my favorite restaurant. Just kidding. No. You know, my father, as we know, as you guys know so far, you know, how he raised us, you know, it's very surprising how he changed his demeanor, you know, and it's been like that for years, and he's so proud, man. I've never seen a proud father. I've never seen just a proud mother too. My mom is like, basically, he became where I was. He's the poster child now, and I'm the dropout. You know, she's like, you need to listen to Johnny right now. You need to do this, or you need to do that. I'm like, bro, chill out, man.
Chill out is great.
I'm a good son too. I'm just kidding. But no, the positive reinforcement of that is very strong today. The connection is strong. You know, thank God. You know, God is good. It's been a journey. You know, it's been a journey. But I would say that to answer your question, bro, my parents, as much as they were abusive and controlling, they never gave up on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they never gave up. Even though the slightest hope left, they still try to bring it back, you know, to me or mine. You know what I'm saying? Even though years of turmoil, now we live an eternity of peace. You know what I'm saying? Or if eternity is even real. But we're going to live, you know, until the rest of our days peaceful. I've never had such a peaceful brother, my mother and my father. And I myself as well, man. I've been blessed with a family I'm not supposed to even have, or think of having, or even conjuring a thought of having. So we're blessed all over.
To be honest, like your entire family story is written by God. Like it just comes out. It's like a movie. It's the craziest movie. It's why people's just jaw drop. They're like, how is this possible? It doesn't make sense.
Your mom jumping out of the car, like I just found that out today.
That's the crazy.
That is such a movie thing. Like you were almost just not here.
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah. It was definitely a very touching story too.
Come on.
But like I said, going back to the original question of our childhood, you know, they're very great moments too, man. Very great moments. You know, it was it's a journey, man. You know, it's a journey.
I have three questions, but they kind of go back to kind of jot off.
What's your social security number? Number
The
one.
3 on the back of your car.
0000000.
So 2 for James, 1 for Johnny. The first one is, so coming from all the past gang life, incarceration, now to where we are today, was there ever a moment where you didn't think Johnny would make it here alive?
I'll tell you like this, man. We're from the San Gabriel Valley, okay? Our motto was, you know, tomorrow was never promised. You know what I mean? It's only the hard and only the strong, you know? So, yeah, every day was a struggle, definitely. Especially back in that era, you know, you had to be hard, you had to be strong. There was no backing down. And that was like that not only with us, but every hood that you went to. Every hood had the same mentality, you know? Just imagine, you throw one little piece of hamburger meat into a swimming tank of sharks. Like, everybody's gonna want to try it, you know? Everybody's gonna take a piece of it. To answer your question, yeah, there was definitely days where I was like,
And you just had to kind of deal with that unknown, especially because you guys weren't communicating so far apart. And you just go to sleep every night thinking, I might not wake up with a brother.
like that perfect thing where that movie scene with Ice Cube and at Boys in Town, right? Where they got into a fight, you know, and then he's walking around and then the ops pull up on him, and they see the ops and they're like, man, they're just gonna quit. And Ice Cube notices, well, my brother. That's exactly the same feeling. Yeah, we would get down, we would fight, but then he would just leave the house and I'd be like, I'll tell you, hey, go, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Make sure he doesn't end up like, you know, that. You know? So yeah, it was very different.
And then Johnny, is there a piece of your testimony that wouldn't exist without James?
I think a lot of it, most of it actually, because my brother doesn't know this, but a lot of the times he motivated me in many ways. Like when I wanted to give up, I would be like, okay, my brother's also in this with me. He's also in the same gang, and he hasn't really given up. I think it would have been better if he gave up, then I could like also give up. But he never gave up. He was like pedal to the metal. So although that caused me to spiral more in my game, eventually, and that in itself then wrote the testimony for me. Whereas there's many times, and any gang member will share this, there are times where we're at crossroads a lot in our hearts where we want to stop, but we don't want to because of the people pleasing aspect and because we don't want to look like weak. But in our hearts, like we already want to leave. You get what I'm saying? So he motivated me, although it may be a negative thing, it wasn't, because Romans 8:28 says all things are for the greater good, right? For God. So without my brother being there, I think if I was just by myself, let's say he wasn't there, then I wouldn't have that competitive nature. I wouldn't have that like, oh, he's better than me, so I gotta be better. Like, it just wouldn't be the same testimony. I probably would have like, you know, and it's a lot. Like my brother just kind of was there without him realizing it. That was the motivation, you know. And I think that's why God allowed us to be so hateful towards each other. We would chase each other around with weapons. Like I would chase like my brother.
He chased me with them scissors, man. And I'm not talking about like the Chinese like sewing shop scissors with the really sharp tip.
Yeah.
He would chase me, man. I'm just
What's
like,
wrong with you, man?
I couldn't lose. I couldn't lose. My brother was bigger than me, so I would fight. I would be the type like if I can't beat you one-on-one, then I fight with a bat. Yeah, and if I can't beat you with a bat, then I'll beat you with a knife. And if I can't beat you with a knife, then I'll beat you with a. I'm not proud to say this. I pulled some of them, you know, and it was bad. It was bad, you know. So I was like in the same way. And my brother was always, what he doesn't know is that he was always the bigger person. Like, believe it or not, he was always like, oh man. One time I remember we got into a fight, and he beat me up pretty bad on this one. Like he dope me, like boom, he hit me in the back of the head, and I was like dazed, and he basically like knocked me out. But when I woke up from it, like I was like, I'm gonna kill this dude. My brother at that time was dating another girl, and you know they were young, and I think she like brought Popeyes or something like that.
oh yeah.
Popcorn shrimp.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is your brother wanted to give you this. So that was always my brother's heart. It was always like, damn, we're both two peas in a pod, you know. And actually from my brother, there's times where like he stopped me from doing a lot of evil things. Where because I would be the type to like get mad at other people. I had very bad anger. My brother would be like, bro, just chill, Johnny. Like, it's not that serious. Like the basketball thing, for example. Yeah. I was telling my brother, like, bro, I'm just going to rush this dude, which means I'm going to punch him. I'm going to make him fight me. And my brother's like, you don't have to do that. I mean, we can. He was always like, we'll do it. But, bro, you don't have to do it, bro. Like, he already backed down. He's telling you. So he was really good at talking me down, actually.
I remember this. Sorry, I didn't cut you off, but I remember this one particular incident, dude. It was crazy. I remember we were South we with one of the homies, right? And then my brother comes in, kicked me. It was like angry. And I was like, hey, bro, chill out. You know, I was like, chill out, dude. He was like trying to find something, you know. And then he found it. He grabbed the weapon. And I was like, what are you doing, bro? You know? It's like everyone's just chilling down. He's like, this mother effer made fun of how the way I parked. And I was like, what? I was like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, no, I'm gonna go outside. And my bro, we went outside, bro. We went outside. Well, I'm not even kidding. And I was like, I was super high. I was like, oh no, this is a bad trip. I was having a bad trip. As I was walking out, I could literally feel like just my muscles like sobering up. Like, dude, something's gonna happen. And he's like, dude, just go back in the house. Go back in the house. Like, nah, bro. You know, I was like, Johnny, don't do it. Don't do it, fool. You're gonna regret it. And he's like, nah, bro. So we confront the dude, you know, and luckily nothing happened. Luckily the dude was like, oh man, no, we're cool, man. You know, he super broke it down. He's like, no, bro, because that guy even knew, you know, and he was like, oh man, no, I wasn't laughing at you, but clearly he was laughing, you know, and that was one of the incidents like that could have went way south.
Yeah, because if I did that, let's say, but what I was gonna do, you know, then I wouldn't be here probably, right? And then so like just not little, but things like this really like he stopped me a lot, you know, during that moment. And also God through him was able to give him that provision. Like, bro, just chill.
For real.
Like, what is it about? Like, that fool, you know, he laughed at you, and I was like, yeah, he did, and I cocked it, and I remember walking out, and then I didn't. The thing about me that's evil is that I didn't flash it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I want him to like step on me or say something, and then but he didn't.
Sheesh.
You know, like so you know, normal people would.
Yeah, I wish you would.
Yeah, but I didn't say anything. I was like, yeah, so are you laughing at me? Like, and I was waiting for him to go boom, and I played it in my head. Like, if my brother saw, he would have saw me smoke this guy right there.
Yeah.
And my brother came. That's why I was telling him, just stay inside, because I already made it up in my mind what I was gonna do. But
Premeditated already.
yeah, and then he was like, and then I was like, dude, over what though? And that's how broken we were, because we're impulsive. Now, obviously, very shameful to share that story, but my brother's being honest, you know, and it's real. Like, and I went from that to like what I am now, and that's what my brother says. What he says, like, it's kind of crazy to see Johnny, you know, like being so. I was just very impulsive. I couldn't. That's the best way to explain it. I'll just blow up over anything. My brother would tell you many times where I look like I'm chill, and then boom, I'll just blow up.
He's
and
a kleptomaniac, bro. He's like a volcano just waiting to explode, bro. Like, for real, man. Like, you're just like, you know, and it's over like crazy stuff too. It's not even like, it like in the sense it's not valid, but to his mind it's like, it's valid.
Yeah.
I'm a blow up.
That's so crazy to me, because one of the things that you were talking about was you kind of feel like you maybe let him down as an older brother, or maybe something you regret was maybe not being able to be a role model. But now, is it interesting for you to hear that you actually were a role model to him the entire time?
That's an interesting fact, brother. But I mean, during those times, I didn't see that far. You know, I didn't foresee that. But you know what? You're right. Yeah, so I feel like I did, but I could have did more. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always this is not enough. You know, I could perform better. I have to do better.
I feel like everybody has that aspect in some version of their life. Like, I wish I spent more time with my parents, or wish I called my friends more often. And just the shoulda, woulda, coulda, and at the end of the day, like, it worked out exactly how it would.
So, and then to that, man. And then to that.
We really like the byproducts of grace. When I look at my brother too, to be able to see him, because he was full-fledged. I mean, I don't know, like, this is nothing to boast about, but we really wanted to be that. You know, my brother like really wanted to be like a straight up gangbanger, and me too. And to go from that to be like having conversations on podcasts, or even now, is kind of mind blowing to see my brother on the my brother just 5 years ago. You would be like, why are you on the camera? It would be like that. You know, my brother was politicking. People don't. He's a nice guy, but he was full-fledged. No, you don't do this. But also, God changed his heart. He changed my heart the same way. And it all came from actually my mom, seeing my mom change, and then him seeing me change, and then him changing, and then my dad changing. You know, so it was just very beautiful to be able to see like how God really works. And what I want to say is like that same God that helped us can help everybody else too.
Amen.
Like, if we're literally the worst of which we were, like, I'm not even trying to say it in a nice, like, you know, boasting way. We were really like bad. You know, we turned our dad's dream, American dream, literally to an American nightmare. Like, my dad was fit. He was like, even though he drank and stuff, he was functional. He was, you know, 40 something years old, had a 6-pack, full head of hair. And then with us, he just like we stressed him out a lot too, because I knew now that he had a lot of guilt. Dang, I messed up my kids.
Yeah.
I beat him too much. I couldn't handle my.
I should never came to America.
I should never came to America. You know, like, man, James wouldn't be in a gang, Johnny wouldn't be in a gang, whatever. But now I'm always like, how is it, Dad? And my dad's 70 now. And he's like, I'm so thankful, like, you guys are changed. He talks about my brother all the time. And that's one thing too, like, my brother has a daughter now, and I'm an uncle. Like, so to go from like all that trauma and having a dysfunctional family, and then to now having a functional family, it's so much, there's so much gratitude in that. You can't be like not be thankful.
God willing. God willing.
And if you guys like questions like this, we do a free live event after service where we do sermons, live Q&As, and fellowship. To RSVP for a city near you, text afters to the number below. See you guys there.
Was there anything that Johnny doesn't know if he's done that may have saved your life?
Yeah, man. One thing in particular was, you know, getting closer, Pastor Ken and the church, man, leading me to the gospel. Because I'll tell you right now, the way we're living, man, it was very hectic, and thank God he was qualified, So that actually saved my life. That opened my eyes to being like, man, I don't have to live with guilt. I don't have to live with, this poison, this turmoil. I could be righteous. I could be holy.
Did you know that?
Not really. I mean, I knew like I impacted him, but I didn't know that that was the direct reason why he came to church. I just thought because he was seeking and searching. But basically, what he was saying is he saw me change, and that motivated him. Yeah, it's because of me.
And then Johnny, is there anything James has done that he may not know has saved your life?
I think him being like a good role model now with the youngsters, with his daughter, with his girl.
Tell him.
Like, yeah, you, bro, for real, bro. You
Thank
and,
you.
and how you treat mom and dad too is kind of wild. My brother, I'm not good at birthdays. I'm not good at like remembering names and stuff. But he met you guys once and he like knows you guys. He's very compassionate in that way, and like a lot of the times I think just me competing with that, he's changed me to be like, dang, I gotta be a little bit more compassionate. There are people that my brother knows that don't like me, right? And my brother's always teaching me at times, like at least, especially early on in my walk, where he was like, bro, just be cool with them. Because I was still crashing out a little bit. I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I would still carry a gun and go to church. Like, so he would tell me, like, although this guy's talking about you, like, I'm not saying it to your face. He'd say little things like that. Where in my mind, I was already plotting. Like, all right, when I see this guy, I'm going to do this. Until this day, my brother, we see enemies. There's times where we'll see an enemy walk in. And then he'll look at me like to make sure, like, are you what you gonna do? And then I'm just here smiling, And obviously now my brother's more like, he knows that I'm not like that anymore. But like that has changed me to recognize, like, dang, bro, like the way you treat people, the way you do try to think for people, it kind of motivates me also on top of the Christianity stuff to be like, dang, I need to really start thinking about it. I'll make fun of people. My brother will be everyone will be laughing. My brother's the only one will be like, man, what if they said that to you? Like, it's these little braking systems, believe it or not, that are like, wow, how can he do that? But he's always had that. He's always had that as a kid. For example, I'll share this story. It's very touching. When I was young, I think I was 4 or 5 years old. You were like 5 or 6. I remember him coming home and he presented the idea of Santa Claus to me. He's like, oh, there's a guy named Santa Claus and blah, 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 blah.
True story, guys.
And then he was like, we just have to get milk and cookies and wait for Santa Claus. And he's going to come down the chimney and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, you make a list, Johnny, and you leave it here and then you can do whatever you want. So I was like, I want Power Rangers, Pops, and then I left it there. He was like telling me we should wait to see like if he's gonna come. So we're like staying up. I think it was like midnight earlier. And I just knock out. My brother knocks out. When we wake up, we're devastated. At least I was. He was too. I was like, dude, the cookies, whatever, like they're still there. But nothing was moved. Like, what the heck? So I immediately got angry. I was like, man, why you lie to me, man? Like, I was like getting mad at my brother. And then my brother was like, I saw his face, and he was tearing up. And he's like, and I was like, man, I want like this. I don't even get any gifts, man. That's a blah, blah. And he's like, basically going in on my brother. He just walks off. All right, he walks off, whatever. So he walks off, and then he walks up to me with his hands behind his back, like, Johnny boy. He was like, Johnny boy. And I was like, what? And I was like, my little phase, right? Comes over and he's like, Santa got us something. He got you something. And I was like, oh, really? And then he pulls out like this square looking thing. It's literally super Jimmy rig. It's like a newspaper. So there's a Chinese newspaper called CJ Herbal. Right?
Yeah.
And then he wraps it up and then it's like taped up. And he draws a bow. It's like a cricket bow. And he puts 4 RN, right? 4 RN. And then he puts my name. And then he switched the from Santa, from Johnny to Santa, basically, you know? So I remember that. And then my brother, like, you know, I was shocked. I was like, dude, why is he doing this? Like, and I didn't understand it. Now, obviously, I get emotional. I got emotional when I told this. And he gets emotional, too. It's like, bro, he realizes, like, I realized that my brother really cared about me. Even from that young age, before all the trauma that we had, before dad being honest, before my brother joining a gang, that was my brother's heart. You know what I mean? And he was always like, I love you, Johnny. Like, but I never like understood that. I was always like thinking about myself. And my brother, I think God has graced my brother with the heart to always see the good in people, which is crazy. You know, you think about it. He's devastated. 6 years old. He's about to cry. I was mad. He would get emotional. And he's like, oh, and at that moment, to make an executive decision at 6 years old to go, my brother needs to be happier than me right now, was crazy. So that's something that I was always thankful for. And I knew that about my brother.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy because bro also just wanted Santa. And people don't think about that. Like he was also just expecting presents that day, and in an instant had to let that go and be there for you, which is very crazy.
Yeah. Hey, John, don't be tear jerking, man.
Earlier we were talking about how it's almost like the dream scenario, right? Like you guys grew up how you grew up. We're hearing your story, and you guys didn't even know if you'd make it to tomorrow, right? What would you say to someone that's listening to the audio here, watching the video, and they're like, well, that's Johnny's thing, right? Or, with your guys' story, that can't happen for me. Because what would you say to someone that might be looking at it from that perspective?
I would say that honestly, anything is possible. I always use this quote, but it's true. You can't put a period where God puts a comma. Right? So I didn't know I was gonna make it, and I had the same mindset. So I would say I understand. I think between me and my brother, we understand more of what hopelessness really is, and that comes from a position. And it's almost a trauma response of like, there's no hope. Trust me, we were there when I was 12 years old, and I was watching people getting, beat up and all kinds of crazy stuff in YA. My brother seen riots, sharing these vulnerable stories. I would never have thought that we could ever be grown men being vulnerable, because in our eyes, men we're not vulnerable. We have to not share anything. We have to be hardened, and I think we're living proof of that. And the funny thing is, we didn't have to believe. So just like the person who's watching, you don't have to believe. God is going to show you.